and we also talked about their myths and their their myths and their gods. So we looked at some of their gods yesterday, and we answered questions about them when we talked about them yesterday. You all did really well, and we're going to continue talking about it and try and get you to 100%. Okay, so we understood about 80% of the way, but we're going to go ahead and try and get 100%.
Who got the closest?
I need to know. Well, you'll find out later, but you don't need to know now.
Yes, I do.
So, what we're going to do today, we are going to take a look at those gods again. We're going to watch that video again. And we're going to watch that video again, and we're going to look at some of the gods, and we're going to discuss them. These gods are going to play a role in our activity today because for our activity, we're going to look at some Greek myths that involve these gods.
Certain people raise certain gods, right?
Why are you interrupting? Sorry. Thank you. Not right now, okay?
Can I go to the restroom?
Not right now. Can you wait? Wait. So, one of the things that we're going to do first, we're going to watch this video and then we are going to discuss it. So, looking at this video, first god, who is this?
Zeus.
Zeus. And what does Zeus do? What was the importance of Zeus to the Greeks?
Reign, law, order.
Okay, so Zeus was the head god. So, out of all of the Greek gods, Zeus was the top one. Controlled rain, thunder. He could get angry pretty quickly. And what was the one thing that stuck out to you guys the most yesterday about Zeus?
He married his sister.
Married his sister. Of course. You know, that is just how. That's how it was in ancient Greece. That's what they gave him. That's how they described the god Zeus. So, go ahead and unmute. We're going to watch this, and we're going to pause it after each one and talk about it. So, like we just said, bad temper. Then, so the next god, Hera. So Hera's going to come up in a couple of our myths. And Hera was who to Zeus?
Queen of heaven.
She was the queen of heaven, and she was also Zeus's
wife and sister.
Wife/sister, because that apparently sticks out the most.
I thought it was the queen of heaven.
Watch the play video camera.
I didn't know it was Zeus's wife and sister.
Because the story behind the ancient Greece population gave this god was that she was his sister, that he married his sister. So
he married her, but then he knew.
What?
So first he married her, but then she found out it was his sister.
We'll look at that more in detail later on. We're just gonna get the bases right now. Okay?
Didn't this happen in ancient Greece?
Yes. So one of the things that you'll find with each of these gods were important to the Greeks because each one represented a different thing. So for example, Zeus was the god of thunder for them. So he's the one that brought rain and thunder and brought them the water that they needed for their crops.
Yeah, just like there's a thunder god, the Japanese thunder
Brandon,
god.
I need you to raise your hand and wait until I call on you before calling out. Okay? Hand down right now. So for Hera, she was the goddess of marriage and childbirth. So each god had a specific duty, a reason why they existed. Middle school boys. Come on. Get out of your system and cut it off. Cut it off.
What are you laughing about?
Duty. Are you done?
Yes.
We're going to write it in and we're going to get it together. Okay, so she was also the goddess of empires and kings. So they looked to her when they were building these empires to bring them good luck on their empires. So Poseidon, our next god. Poseidon was known as the god of the seas. So Poseidon was the one that made the seas either calm
Or tsunami.
or tsunami type weather. So they believed in ancient Greece that if you made Poseidon mad or Poseidon was mad, that is why there were storms on the sea, why there were tsunamis or hurricanes or anything like that.
We
Or
find
typhoons.
out one sea god.
Typhoons cause huge waves.
There's this one myth of a sea god, and he lives in the bottom of the ocean. What is his name?
Poseidon?
No. What does his name start with?
Okay, we'll come back to it, okay?
He's like the king of the ocean. Like fish. Fish. He can fish.
And that's so. How many have heard of Poseidon? Because Poseidon's pretty common. So one of the things that you could think of is in modern times. Who in here has read the Percy Jackson books?
I read her a long time ago.
Or seen the movies? Okay, so those movies are based on the Greek gods and the Greek myths.
I'm talking about like the king of the water.
You talking about Triton?
Neptune.
That's
Neptune?
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
I was trying to think.
So
of
this
it.
is Neptune is tied in with Poseidon. It's kind of based off of Poseidon.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the myth I've heard.
So he controls this of the
Mediterranean Sea.
And
Yep.
I don't know if he
So
controls
remember
light.
that Greece was a peninsula. When we were talking about the formation of Greece, Greece was a peninsula, so it's surrounded by 3 seas. So the seas, again, were really important to these people because it provided them the water, and it also provided them with enough water to be able to keep their crops up, because their crops were what gave them food as well as jobs. Okay, so another.
Hercules.
It's Hades.
Okay, so
Hercules.
some of you might know this
Carry
God.
off of Hercules.
Okay, you don't need to keep calling out. We're gonna bring it in together. You can raise your hand if you have.
Oh, that was like a 4.
You can raise
It's
your hand if you want to make a comment, but you do not need to keep calling out. Yes.
the devil.
Thank you. So this was Greece's form of the devil. So Hades can be seen in the movie Hercules, as a couple of you have pointed out. Yes, it is.
seen him. Can you show me?
So Hades was the god of the underworld. So
Or the H word.
So you also are going to see Hades in this as we look at these myths today.
Eat that.
Okay? So these are the 4 gods that you really need for today.
Give your medicine.
Not right now.
I need you to
for
you gotta wait 1 more minute. I need you to wait, okay? Not time
What
yet.
was that noise?
Hurry up. Now it's time.
Okay, I need you all to take a deep breath. I need you all to get it together. Close the textbook, please. Okay,
So he controls the
Close the textbook.
so for our activity today,
We didn't finish the video.
We don't need to. We didn't save it.
be finished. So for our activity today,
We didn't finish.
we are going to look at popular Greek myths that centered around these Greek gods. Then what you are going to do with your partner is you're going to I'm going to give you a Greek myth and you're going to debunk it. So you guys are going to become So you're going to look at the myths as and then you're going to look and see how modern science has debunked those myths. And when I mean debunk, I mean that proving that myth is not the truth. Okay? So let's look at an example. So the Greek myth, Persephone was the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, the harvest goddess. Her uncle Hades wanted her for his wife. Zeus allowed Hades to carry Persephone away to the underworld and married her. Demeter wandered the earth looking for her daughter and neglected the harvest. So famine resulted. Zeus decreed that Persephone would spend 6 months of each year in Hades' underworld and 6 months with her mother on the surface of the earth. Her visit is spring and summer because her mother is happy. When she returns to Hades, we have fall and winter. Now, before I show you the scientific reasoning that debunks this myth, what do you think it could be? Please raise your hand. Do not call out. Yes.
There is no goddess or none of that controls the weather. It's just
Okay.
like space, sun.
Okay. So without saying that there is no gods or goddess, so we know that these gods and goddesses don't exist today. Correct? We don't look at these today in ancient. That was something that ancient Greece used as the religion. So, without saying that in it, what else can we say? Okay, Brandon.
As I know, there's a myth for Japanese people. The Japanese believe in the thunder god.
Okay, stop for a second. Does that have anything to do with debunking this myth? Okay.
Well, they believe in it. I don't.
So,
What's their book? I can't.
the truth. This is what you're going to do with your partner. So once you get your myth, you're going to look at it, and then you're going to come up with something like this. So the truth, we have seasons because the earth is tilted and always pointing to one side as it goes around the sun. Your location on earth will mean that you are leaning more towards the sun for 6 months of the year, spring and summer, and lean more away from the sun for 6 months, fall and winter. So we know that science has proven that the earth is tilted. That as we go around the sun, that we have our 4 seasons. Okay? We have debunked this with modern science that these myths are not true. So, what I would like for you all to do, you're going to get a myth from me with you and your partner, and you're going to create a card that looks like this. So, on the inside, one side will have the Greek myth. You will illustrate that Greek myth. Huh? They type some of it, but you don't have to. So, it is not okay for you to keep interrupting. Or we'll talk about it, okay? So, when you have your card open, on the inside, one side will be your Greek myth that I give you. You will illustrate. So, if you would like to type, you may type on the computer and I will print it out for you. If you want to write it, that is okay too. But make sure if you do type it that the font is small enough to fit into your card. So on one side, you're going to have the Greek mythology with an illustration. On the other side, you're going to put the science that debunks it. Okay? On the front of your card, you're going to write Mythbusters. And I will put that on the board so that way you know how to spell it and everything is
Actually,
correct.
I already know how to spell
Mythbusters, MYTHBUST.
Okay. You said G instead of U.
Ah,
So, I'm going to put you in your groups.
please,
Cool.
we're good.
And we've already talked about who you're going to be with, okay?
No, I mean the thing. I was thinking about doing the thing about the
We have already.
planets already.
Okay. So, Killian and Corey, I would like for you all to get together.
Hey, are we
Devin
not
and
here?
Cameron, I am gonna put you all together, but I will be right
Oh,
behind
but
you
you already
every step of the way. Please do your work. Okay. You are gonna be with Nick, but I'm gonna help you out until Nick gets back, okay?
Well, I gotta use the bathroom.
You guys go over here.
So, what I would like for you to do, go ahead and get in your groups. I am going to bring you a piece of construction paper.
I'm really gotta go like that.
Go quickly.
You don't want to figure it out.
You don't need a computer right now.
I just want to. But not so tight.
You do not need it right now, okay?
Why did I ask it over it the first? Because we're gonna need it.
What's up,
I just want water.
You don't need your computer right now.
I'm signing it because it's a long to sign it.
You don't need it, close it. It's okay. So I am going to come around and I am going to bring your group a Greek myth. Then you're going to discuss with your partners what scientific method has debunked that myth. And I'm also giving you a piece of construction paper to make your card out of. So what are you going to be doing? Raise your hand and tell me. Corey. Okay. What else are we doing? What are we writing these Greek myths and scientific reasoning behind?
The Greeks.
You're going to make a.
The.
You're going to make
card.
a card to illustrate this. Make sure you have illustrations as well. I'm going to keep the rubric.
Illustrations, that means drawing, right?
So up here is your rubric.
Oh crap, I hate this stuff.
I would really like to see this from everyone. Communicates text information and ideas in a way that is exceptionally understandable and clear to the audience. Very creative and exceptional visual information and ideas. So what I'm saying is make sure you're illustrating on top of doing your writing piece. All right? Yes.
He smacked his bed.
Okay, I want you two to stop, please. Or you can do this individually and separate.
And how am I supposed to use a computer?
What color construction paper do you want? Go red.
I did blue.
Was there red? Okay.
Blue.
Can we start this off?
Yes.
So I'll go first. Blue.
I know, so I'll say.
Okay. Once I wait a second. Thank you. Thank you. Once you have gotten your Greek myth, you may also look this up. Get some more information on the Greek myth if you need it. You have computers in front of you. Like I said, you may type as well. What color?
Blue. What day you said you're going to the doctor? Thursday. So.
I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. Afternoon.
Just let me know if you need it.
So you're gonna be doing a
So
random
you're
right now?
I'll go.
We're free by the end.
We need your and then from there's
You want to get your green roll out a little bit. What color construction paper do you want to make your card?
Take care of that one coming on.
So you're going to make a card. And on one side, so when you make your card, you're going to hold it. And what you're going to do, you and Brandon are going to you're going to write Mythbusters on the inside. You're going to write the Greek myth on this side, illustrated. And then on this side, you're going to put the scientific reasoning method that debunks that Greek myth. Okay?
Does Brandon know what to do too?
Yes. So,
Alright, me and Brandon will Corey.
Corey,
Take your medicine. I'm waiting for Brandon to start.
okay, that's fine. Go ahead and log into your computer. If you can look up, I want you guys guys to look up more information on your Greek myths so you can debunk it. Okay? Why?
Because you don't want to work.
Cameron. Why you don't want to work? Do you not look up this Greek myth and help him out? Is that you? Cameron, I need you to answer. Is that you? What's going on?
I don't know. All he did is this, when you laid this down, he got mad because I put it over here so I could pick it up.
Right. By yourself?
I'm not, but hey, my type.
You get what?
When did you get I'm typing.
What is that
Excuse me,
name?
that was shut down. Excuse me, did you?
That hurt you?
Where the middle song?
Okay, it's time to fix that. Okay.
You can go take a mess. I'm going somewhere.
Come on, go back. Come on, Brandon. Somebody else.
Okay?
I just got here.
Go take it back so quickly and then come back, okay?
Plus, I wanted to try.
Break for your
Never get to eat hard.
So, what is your like? Let's go with the beautiful coloring of golden one and soft heroes caught in sun, tropical crown to cherry. Steel fell in love with heroes after collision, fortunately good for back. Steel would watch heroes cross the sky every day, and even though he didn't care for her, poor Nymph got so depressed that she didn't eat or drink for 9 days. Slowly threw his fist on fire that would continue turning to face the sun. So, what's the actual sign? This how sun
Or
so
was
you
never
can't find the sun
actually
power.
described.
Also, what
Greeks.
do we know? Sunflowers, what's the process of a plant? Tiny photosynthesis. So that's why they turn towards the sun, right? So you got to think about it that way. Think about the growth of a plant, taking the photosynthesis aspect, and write that down for your science, okay? That's what I'm wanting.
I said the Greek god.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and put this away for right now? So what we're gonna do. The Greeks believed that Titan fought heroes rode in a chariot and drive the sun with his okay, all that. These heroes were played by Apollo. Because heroes were partly what Apollo was an Olympian. Heroes had two sisters. They were goddess called Selene, Moon, and Io, Dawn. So the Greeks believed that the reason the sun rose every day and set every day was because this man had the sun attached to a chariot. Is that how it works? What happens to our Earth?
It rotates around the sun.
Okay, so when it rotates, we see the sun part of the day and see the moon part of the day, right? That makes sense? Okay, so try and get
Just
some more
let's see, what am I supposed to look up?
Hold on, I'm telling you.
Do I type?
So go ahead and go to Word and
Hold on.
type up your scientific. You can type up that Greek part.
What is it?
Notebook 11? Is it Smart Notebook 11?
Another one.
Greek scientific,
It's not Word
or you can
2013.
put science.
Is it Word 2013 or Notebook 11?
Let's read your Greek myth together. Let's read it together.
That was so pretty.
Can we read this together and you're not worried about that? Can we do that? So, the son of Eos, goddess of dawn, Ethiopian, Dane, and Merlin went out to the Thunder War. When Merlin was murdered by Achilles. Eos found out about this and shed tears of grief for her son
Miss
every day.
Jones.
So a Greek
Miss
thought mourning
Jones.
him was
So
so they believe
which one is it?
that
Is it Word
when they knew
2013 or Smart Notebook?
this
Smart
goddess,
Notebook
this
11?
goddess was up there crying. What's the reason behind
Yeah.
it? What's the scientific reasoning behind mourning do?
I spell
Oh,
science
that's
myself.
what you should do. Right?
Hey, I'll look it up.
So, Nick, why don't you let Brandon handle the science part, okay? And then you, but let him handle it, and then you can type it up so you can
Never
print
used
it.
a computer like
Oh, that
this.
was
You just have to-
Forget it. I'm not.
Okay.
But John said we were gonna take turns. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's what I'm
said,
saying
you want
is
science.
let him do, find Google, let him use Google, and then once he's done using Google, he can pop open Word and type it, okay? That sounds fair to you?
That is rotate.
What is the real Greek mythology?
No. So you're looking at the scientific reasoning behind
It's taking a long time to load. Miss L,
You ready to work?
You said.
Miss L, is it Word 2013 or Smart Little God?
Word. Use Word.
So Word 2013, because that's
Yep.
the only thing I have.
Use Word. So here's your options. You can go ahead and start working, or we can go ahead and sit outside for a few minutes or come down.
Word.
What do you want to do? Okay, please go to the office, take a few minutes, calm down, come back ready to work.
Morning.
All right, guys. Make sure if you know the science and you're ready to type, you're opening Word and you're typing it out. When you are finished, please come to me and I will print it off and you can start constructing your
Do I
card.
write all this, Miss L? All this and then those, all that.
We don't have that.
What you need to do is go to Word and type up your science. And you remember what your science is? What happens to the earth that causes this?
It circled it.
I have something terrible.
Orbits the sun.
Which causes the rise and setting of the sunrise and sunset of the moon rising.
Just stop talking. This is the computer I play on.
Doesn't it even look bit
Why are
bigger?
we yelling?
Dude, answer all those tests.
Okay. Hold on a
I'm
second.
afraid you'll crash your computer.
It's not gonna crash the computer. Brandon, you don't need to worry about that. This is not your computer, correct? Okay, so you need to do what I'm telling you.
I
Look
already
up the
did.
science.
He just took over.
So look
I
at this.
didn't take over. I just took over because you typed in the wrong thing and it wasn't talking about that. It was talking about the Hindu.
So look at the science behind morning dew. Okay, so just here. Stop typing and listen. Delete. Morning. Forget it. We're not doing that. Okay, look. Look. What? Okay. Let him read. Let him read. Brandon, read. Tell him what he needs to type. Okay. So, wait. That's the way you are. You know the scientific development.
No, wait.
I know.
So write down some funny right.
Right,
I'm not writing down. I'm writing down morning.
I need you to stop. Are you?
That make it mean.
Miss L, what's it called again?
Give me a second. I'm gonna write down what morning to do.
Whoa. What's your battery
That
number?
was too small.
Looks like it's.
I'm trying to figure out what's it called because I'm trying
Nick,
to figure out
what
what
you need
this
to-
is called.
Nick,
I'm not good morning
Don't
to
write that down
Hey, you can unplug it.
on that
No,
paper.
not that, but like
You need to write it down on another
the
piece
sun
of
or the earth orbits the sun and the moon and it causes
It's fully charged.
something to
So,
go
How
down
do sunflowers
or
grow?
up.
Why do they turn over to your time about day and night? That's what you need to
Yeah,
write
like
down.
when we have sun part of the day
Use
and
the
night part of the day.
computer room.
It's fully charged. You want all the charge and make it blow up.
Brandon, come here, please. So I can talk to you.
No. Forget bucks.
So I would put a Google search in it.
It's starting to get very
Explain.
You're making it invisible. Look at me. You were getting on to about battery life, about this, about that.
Is that anything to do with your project right now? Doesn't have anything to do with your project right now. Okay, so are you making Nick frustrated? Which in turn is making you what? You're getting frustrated as well, right? Because he's frustrated. Do you need to worry about his battery or what he's doing with his computer or his tabs? What should you be worrying about right now? Working as a group, maybe? Getting your work done? Wouldn't that be what you should be doing right now? You're not having issues cooperating. You're worrying about things that don't concern the project right now. And you're frustrating him. I need you to get it together. You can. I know you can. I know you're more than capable of doing this. So I need you to do that. Take a deep breath. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Look at me. I want you to repeat after me. I can do this. More. Have some meaning behind it. I can do this. Okay. I want you to walk back over there and apologize. I want you to work with your partner and work on your project. Come on over.
So, I think I forgot again. I got like so far. Sorry. I can't over it. I got that far.
Okay, so sunflowers can grow. Just like flowers flowers grow from what? What do you need to make to? What do you have to plant to get sunflower? Not the. There you go. Flowers grow from its seed. And think about what they need. What do they need? But besides seed, soil.
I guess right. Flowers
So
grow using a seed, soil.
yeah, you can do that. Grow using a seed, soil, and water. But they also need what to thrive? Yes.
What is that? The earth orbits the sun because
Because I'm not working. Someone got me cut off.
So when you're thinking about that kind of witch,
no, it's right there too.
Hey, that's a fast one.
Right there.
Okay,
Those are right
don't
there.
yell at me. I already typed that part.
guys, I'm gonna give you a few more minutes to type this out, and then you need to start constructing your card. And you may use your Greek and just glue it on.
Oh, it was CAUSES. I thought you said SCS.
Can I read that? Okay. So during
This is my part. Maybe nosy.
Just read. Hey, work on the same stuff.
During the photosynthesis,
Water vapor in the air. Faster than
okay, so
water.
what did you find out? Why does morning dew happen?
Caused by sun radiation
So it's caused by temperature and water vapor, correct?
and the water turns from liquid to a gas.
Okay, so basically, morning dew is a result of temperatures in the air and the water vapor left over throughout the day, right?
Like, I'm trying to, this is like the same part, but I'm trying to write down stuff the exact way where it needs to, so I can just copy out.
Okay, so science would be here and then your Greek would be here.
So, this fact that you just said goes on the top.
Would go on the bottom. Yep, so you'd write science and then underline science. And then all you guys would really need to do to debunk your myth would say that, where are you going?
I have a piece of paper.
That
I'm writing.
he has one right here already.
Can we
It's
have
folded.
our own?
Brandon, this was given to you guys for your project. You gotta use this, okay?
Okay.
So,
I just don't want us fighting over it.
Do is from the sun.
Forget. It seems like too much.
okay, so Brandon, come here. So for science, you're gonna say, all you really need for debunking your myth is that morning dew is caused by the temperature of the air and the water vapor in the air, right? So that's all you would need to write on there. So I would go ahead and open Word and type that up so that way you can get it printed and put onto your card. You ready to print? All right. So let me go ahead and have it. Go ahead and fold your paper. Let me have your computer. I can't bring the printer here. It's too heavy. Might hurt.
What are you doing?
Why are you on that?
I'm not on that. You did something.
I didn't add it.
Okay, Brandon and Nick.
Add automatic.
What did you do?
I didn't do nothing. They just add up.
Fill in your group, please.
We should.
Okay, stop.
You pressed something.
Okay, if it's not matter, we're gonna close out of it.
I'll be happy in a year or something.
That whole thing is hacking. It goes all facts.
That's not necessary in my ear, man.
You just don't stop.
Are you done?
Yeah,
Can I print it?
and it looked like it said.
I just look like I got that hat back on. I'm gonna get all my stuff.
We're not worrying about that.
I know, but I want to get it back on.
We're not worrying about that right now. Okay, so Brandon, while he is typing, because that was the deal, while he is typing of the science part, why don't you take and go get some. So that was the deal with that, you could do Google and that he was typing. Okay, you may go have a seat. You may go have a seat, we're gonna call back, and you're gonna do this project by yourself later on, please go have a seat. Okay, ready? Alright, let's get this printed. Go to the top. Go back to the top. Alright, so what you're going to do, your card's gonna go this way, so that way you're gonna put Mythbusters. And then when you open it up, you'll have your Greek, and then you'll put your science. Make sure you have you make an illustration for your science, okay?
Just Lisby, I want to do the one. No,
Yes. You ready? Print?
No, I said, which causes sundown?
sun and the moon, which causes the sun to rise and fall and the moon to rise and fall. So causes sunrise, sunset.
There's another word for sunset, dusk.
Sunset.
There's another word for sunset. It's dusk.
How do you spell cause?
Your group, and make sure you have an illustration
What the
for your
heck?
science.
Why'd you move it?
Is
It needs to be on that side.
sunset one word, Michelle?
Because when, let me see the card.
Yeah.
Because when you close it, you're gonna write Mythbuster. So when you open it, you have your Greek and then your myth.
Wait, was it supposed to be like this?
Sorry, we didn't. It's fine. I already told it. Greek and then science. I feel like it. Just like this, like I said. Okay, and then make sure you have an illustration for your science. So, I'll be there in just a moment. One, let me see this.
Do you want to do the illustration?
I don't know why.
You just draw a picture.
We're gonna make it.
That's
why
you
I'm a bad drawer.
I am there.
I, no, it's not. BYD. This. I don't know how to do that.
Mythbusters.
You need to draw for science. Part of your rubric, it's up there on the board.
What are you drawing? I did
And what
everything
you do
else.
is cause.
No,
the
you draw
cause by. Brandon, are you ready to come back and join the team? Okay, come with me. We're gonna work together as a trio. Trio? Or
Just draw like
Yeah.
flower, ball, what do you want to do?
Okay.
Except the whole room again.
What you do one step, which will be yeah. Oh. So,
So. So I'm gonna put, Brandon, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and I need you to glue the Greek. Okay, stop whatever you're doing with your finger, get a glue stick, and please glue this. Glue sticks are up here next to the computer.
Miss Lisby, can I cut it out where it's just that? Like cut the white around it?
No, leave it alone and just glue it. All right, guys, go ahead and start finishing up because we're gonna keep moving on. Okay. You need to wait just a second. I understand, but then you need to wait just a second.
We're doing redemption.
One time. When you're finished, hold on to it, and we're gonna talk about it. And a little bit more detail on the illustration. Come on now. Come on, have fun with this.
I'm just on like a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cut out so you can glue it onto the bottom half. And make sure you guys put illustration and then your Mythbusters title on the front when you close the card. All right, so the Earth orbits the sun and the moon, which causes sunrise, sunset. What else to rise? What else rises? Right.
Randy, here.
I'm gonna go fit.
It will fit.
Why do you always have to snatch it?
I'm not.
What's wrong?
You're going in the way from me.
Oh, I need that, so.
All the way.
All right. Nicholas, make sure you have to put an illustration down for your science as well. And then I need you all to write Mythbusters at the top. Okay, hold on to it.
How do you
All
spell
right,
that?
well, you guys,
How do you spell that? How do you spell buster? Miss Lisby.
you're gonna have to write, because this is not funny.
Miss Lisby.
It's okay. You're gonna write exactly what's down there on a piece of card, okay? Can you do that? You can do it. I believe in you.
Miss Lisby.
So where's your paper? All right.
Miss Lisby.
Yes.
I got myth down. How do you spell buster?
B-U-S. T-E-R. Okay. So Greek, and then write the science portion. So blue the Greek, and then write the science portion, have color. All right. So while those who are finishing up with their card finishes, we're going to talk about the myths. We're going to talk about the myths, and we are going to talk about the science that debunked that myth that you found. Okay, so who in here had the myth about the sunflowers? Okay, Corey and Killian, what did you find? What was the myth? What was the Greek myth that they had for sunflowers? Keep reading. Don't pay attention to it. Keep reading.
But the beautiful water nymph with golden blonde hair one day, Lady saw Helios.
Okay, give me the shortened version. What happened after she saw him?
She turned to a sunflower.
Okay, so she fell in love with him, right? But he didn't want her. So she turned into a sunflower, and that's why sunflowers turn towards the sun, correct?
Nope.
So
But that's the Greek myth, right?
how
Okay.
do they spread in the other seed? You mean the
Brandon, your classmates are talking. Do not take away from their learning, okay? This is their group project. So, what was the science that you and Killian found to be the truth? Corey, what was the science that you found?
Sunflowers can't grow out of people because flowers need photosynthesis. Flowers grow using soil and seeds. I mean, sorry, seeds. Soil,
carbon
sun,
dioxide?
and water to grow. During photosynthesis process, plants need sun to grow, water to drink, and soil to grow in.
Awesome. Okay, so
I
the
read that upside
science
down.
that debunks this myth is that flowers don't grow from people. They grow out of the ground. We have to have seeds and sunlight and water and soil to make these plants grow. And during the process of photosynthesis, which requires sun, the plants will turn towards the sun or the source of light that they need. Awesome job, you two. All right. So, Devin, what was your myth? Give me the shortened version. This first.
The Greeks believed that the Titan called
Kilos.
Rose rode a
Chariot.
and
The sun and the moon, right? Okay, so one of the Greek myths was that this Titan Kilos dragged the sun and the moon around the earth. So the Greeks believed that the sun rose and set and the moon came up and set every morning because Kilos was dragging them around using a chariot. What is the scientific reasoning behind this that has debunked this myth, Devin? What happens to the earth that causes the sun to set and rise and the moon to rise and the moon to set? Read it.
The earth orbits the sun and the moon which causes sunrise, sunset. The moon to rise and set.
Okay, so we know now that that Greek myth isn't true. We've myth-busted this one as well because we know from science that the reason that these things occur with the sun and the moon is because we have our Earth is orbiting, and as we orbit, we are going into. We see the sun rise, we see the sun set, we see the moon come up, and we see the moon set. So because we are orbiting, we see all of these. We know that that is not the case. Awesome job. So Nick and Brandon, what Greek myth did you have?
I fell out for
Okay. So what Greek myth did you have?
Greek mythology.
Okay, so let's give the shortened version. So in Greek mythology, what was morning dew caused by?
Morning dew caused by the
Greek mythology first. What was it caused by? Don't read all of it. Just tell me what it was caused by. What did they believe it was caused by? A goddess doing what?
yawning his eyes.
So what is she doing? She's
Crying.
okay. So the Greek mythology, in Greek mythology, Greeks believed that morning dew, the ground being wet in the morning, was caused by a goddess who was sad over the loss of her child, crying every morning. Okay.
What was lost of her child? Why was
So that was the Greek myth that her. Remember, that was your Greek myth that you had.
Is this
That-
possible that there's Greek
so-
mix at actually Whaleville?
well some people
Well,
when they're
science
pregnant,
has
they
debunked
get
most
heart
of
attack,
them.
they lose their-
Brandon. So what was the science behind it, Brandon? That we debunked this Greek myth. What is morning dew actually caused by?
Well, the water that is on the grass is tiny droplets, and when the temperature gets higher by the sun gets the sunlight on the grass, and then the droplets rise, turning into vapor from a liquid to a gas.
Okay.
I wasn't done yet. And then when it turns into a cloud, and then it ends up coming back down.
Okay. So science has debunked this myth as well. We know that morning dew is caused by a combination between the temperatures in the air as well as the water vapor in the air. So good job to both of you.
Morning dew.
Good.
Morning dew, also called the rain cycle.
Awesome. So, good job to everyone. What I would like for you all to do, if you have not already turned in your card, make sure your name is on it. Make sure you have Mythbusters at the across the front. I am going to collect your card. And what I would like for you to do is get a piece of paper, or actually, before you turn in your card, turn it onto the back. What I would like for you to do with your partner is write one fact that you learned about today. Okay, this is your closure for today. We're going to write one fact that you learned about today.
Anything? Like one fact about how to run a letter.
That's not fun.
Okay, so write one fact. What did you learn about out of all the myths that we debunked today?
God. Can the sun set?
You learned that
Does both of us have to write one
God
fact?
was what caused the sun to rise and set, right? So write that down.
Both of us have to write our own fact.
Partner.
The
Okay, so
Greeks-
Brandon, you need to get with your partner,
Did
okay?
you say the Greeks believed?
When you have your closure finished, one of your group members, please bring, did you get and converse with the facts?
I took the simplest fact.
Okay. When you're finished, raise your hand and I will come by to collect it. When you have turned this in, make sure you get your language arts notebook out and get ready for the transition to language arts. Leon and Corey, good job today.
Ready?
I love how collaborative you both were and project done in a timely manner.
Ready? Spud about. The thing where they.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. You don't need to put your life face. Oh, thank you so much. I just love your projects. It's just so great. Thank you. God. Anyone, go ahead and get your language arts notebook out. Okay, if you turned in your card, make sure you got your language arts notebook
I'm
out
gonna
and
drink.
ready for the next
Gotta
lesson.
go get a drink
Let me go quickly.
quickly and quietly.